Each year in the United States, thousands of major crimes go unsolved. When the case has gone cold and police have nowhere to turn, they seek assistance from the public. This is a program dedicated to solving these cases. This is Crime Stoppers Case Files.
Every year, crimes go unsolved right here in Southern California. Loved ones are left waiting. I'm Joy Benedict. As a news reporter, I've covered countless crimes and homicides, and I know that sometimes victims of these crimes are forgotten almost as quickly as the headlines fade. So tonight on Crime Stoppers Case Files, we take another look at the crimes still lingering unsolved in our communities. Let's get right to work. On December 8, 2001, 26-year-old Cedric Hurd was walking to visit his 3-year-old daughter. That's when a car approached and a man stepped out. This young father was shot and killed in front of his own daughter. Detectives and his family are still searching for answers.
Cedric was my first pregnancy, so I had fallen into the horror stories of what childbirth would be like, what pregnancy would be like, and it was none of that with Cedric. Birth was easygoing, and pretty much Cedric led his life like that in an easygoing manner. He was a good baby, happy disposition, always smiling, loved to eat, was a big kid. I had more children, but his baby brother is 8 years younger, so Cedric basically grew up as an only child, and when he hollered mama, 3 people answered. It was me, my mother, Nana, and then his auntie, Lynette. So he grew up in a very loving family and was very much catered to. I guess a little spoiled, but it never got to his head. He always behaved in a very well-mannered way. Cedric was very laid back. He didn't take a lot of things seriously. It was very hard to get him angry. No matter what was going on, Cedric had that demeanor that just kind of calmed everyone down. He was a good student. He made good grades. He went to a Lutheran high school and excelled in sports, and he mentored other children, so he was very well-liked. Had a lot of friends. Cedric worked a series of jobs. He basically had a difficult time finding his niche, so to speak. So he was security, he worked at a gas station, and I think the birth of his child really made him get real serious about what he needed to do career-wise.
I remember one time he had gave me a bath, and that's about it. That's the only thing I remember.
It was a week before Christmas in 2001 when someone decided to murder my son. It's been 10 years now, and there still is no lead as to who could have done this terrible deed. Cedric will always be in my heart. Although he is gone, we are never apart. I miss him so much. There is not a day that goes by that I don't think of him and wonder why.
On December 18, 2001, at about 9:15 p.m., Cedric Lamar Hurd, who was 25 at the time, was shot and killed in front of his daughter's house near Hobart Boulevard in West 109th Place in the Vermont district of Los Angeles County.
That night, he headed out to put my grandbaby to sleep, as he did most nights. And for whatever reason, Cedric paused on the porch that evening, and we talked a few minutes about the upcoming year, and he felt really positive about the year. And he started down the porch, and he turned around and he said, "Mama, I love you." I can still get the chills from him telling me that. And I said, "I love you too, son." And I was compelled to kind of watch him walk down the stairs. And I stayed in the doorway and watched him down the street.
As Cedric was walking southbound on Hobart Boulevard, just south of West 109th Place, a dark-colored Caprice Classic or Impala pulled up next to him. The passenger, who I believe was a passenger, got out of the car, approached Cedric on foot, and literally assassinated him. He shot him approximately 9 times, almost all 9, devastating gunshot wounds from literally legs up to the head and torso. Cedric died instantaneously at the scene. He was pronounced by paramedics.
I would say within a half hour or so, I get a call from Taylor's mother, Lisa, who was hysterical. When I got there, I was not allowed to go to the body, and I remember thinking, why aren't they working on him? Why is he just laying there? I didn't want to even consider the fact that he was dead, but he wasn't moving. But I stayed there the whole time. It took many, many hours. It seemed like the longest period of my life.
On December 18, 2001, at about 9:15 p.m., Cedric Lamar Hurd was shot and killed in front of his daughter's house near Hobart Boulevard and West 109th Place in the Vermont district of Los Angeles County. It appears to me that he was on the sidewalk, and as he reached his daughter's house, that's when a dark-colored vehicle pulls up. Here's it's driving northbound on Hobart. The passenger exited the car, approached Cedric on foot, unknown if anything was said, and fired at least 9 rounds at Cedric. He was hit multiple times. The shooter was up pretty close on it because there were expended casings on Cedric's remains, so he was close. Re-enters the car. The car drives north on Hobart to the first street, which is at West 109th Place, and then goes east. We have witnesses that see the car stop, and for some reason they change. The driver and passenger change positions. The car takes off at a high rate of speed, almost crashes into a parked car, and then continues east towards Washington High School and out of view.
This has affected my life in ways I can't even describe. A parent does not expect to bury their child. It should be the other way around. My grandbaby Taylor, she was 3 years old when he was killed, but she remembers him in a way that a baby can remember their dad. Just that void in her life alone is significant.
I don't have a father figure. All I have is women to look up to. It's just not the same as any other family.
Christmas time is a time where you would think it's a joyful time, and it would never be that way for me and my family again. And I just beg that someone has had a change of conscience and that they're ready to say something.
Well, obviously, in my profession, we never meet our victims until they're deceased. However, his mother, Josella Hurd Collins, we've kept in contact for the past 10 plus years. Sends me Christmas cards, Christmas decorations, ornaments for trees. Heck of a lady, and she surely misses her son, and she would like to see some justice.
And I miss him. And I just don't think it's fair that I'm denied the opportunity to watch him grow, to hold him, and to be a dad to his daughter.
My grandma Jo, she'll feel better. I'll feel better because I'll know who did it.
Sometimes just growing up in certain neighborhoods, you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. For no other reason than you happen to be walking down the street and they were looking for a target, but they found Cedric and they killed him. Suspects, we believe 2 male blacks at that time would have been about 18 to 20, so now we're going to put him 28 to 30, I'm going to assume.
Cedric was an acolyte at our Lutheran church in Inglewood, Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. And he believed in God. He lived a spiritual life. So I find peace in knowing that he's with my God and that he'll be there waiting for me when I get there.
Police are looking for 2 black males who would now be in their late 20s. They believe the 2 suspects were traveling in a black 1990s Impala or Caprice Classic. Cedric's family is suffering, but someone out there has the power to help this family. Someone out there has answers. We want to bring up an older case, one where 23 years has not eased a family's pain. That's because a 3-year-old boy crossing the street was killed by a hit-and-run driver. His family still wants justice.
Beyonce was the joy of my life. I was a young mom upon having him, but once he came into my life, it did change my life for the better. I enjoyed seeing his smile. I enjoyed hearing him calling out my name, just making the sounds that you see kids do. And he was just the life of any atmosphere that he came into. He actually enjoyed going to school. He did begin preschool actually, and he did enjoy that because he enjoyed playing with children. And on the way to school, one thing that he always wanted to do was stop and get his snack. So on the way, it's always, Mom, I want a snack. So he'd stop off to the store and get his snack, go about his school day, and upon picking him up from school, he actually wasn't ready to leave. He wants to stay there and play with his other classmates. I would say one of the proudest moments would be when he was about 9.5, 10 months old when he took his first step. And again, he was trying to step to get to a snack actually, but he did it, and that was one of the highlights I feel for me as he started to begin walking. I just wish I could have those moments back to wake up and see that smile again. I can't have that, so I just hold on to his memories that I have. And it was a short time that I had him with me.
March 18th, 1989, approximately 8:55 p.m., a victim, 3-year-old male by the name of Deancy Barnes, was killed by a hit-and-run driver in South Central Los Angeles in the area of Van Ness and Gage Avenue. We reviewed the report. Since it happened 23 years ago, we reviewed the report, learned that the mother, at the time of the collision, she was across the roadway conducting some kind of business with a tow truck driver.
Beyonce was left inside the residence with his godmother and another infant. I was outside at street level with AAA driver having a tire repaired.
Beyonce somehow exited the residence. It looks like he was in search of his mother. He located his mother and ran across the street, and that's when the collision occurred.
I heard him calling out to me as he was running towards the street, and I was on the other side of the street. And as I yelled out to him, stop, don't come out to the street, is when the impact happened. It was really quick. The driver of the vehicle got out of the car, came to where he lied, looked at him for a quick second, jumped back into her vehicle, and sped off. Of course, I was hysterical. I ran down screaming for someone to call 911. As I tried to come back to where he was, people were stopping me and didn't allow me to.
Following the collision, the child was pronounced dead at the scene by paramedics approximately 15 to 20 minutes after the accident.
You know, I can't fathom how anyone that have a conscience could do that.
Crime Stoppers is an international organization dedicated to bringing resolution to unsolved crimes. Members of the public work with police to make the world a safer place. Since 1975, thousands of Crime Stoppers organizations worldwide have helped make over 1 million arrests. Crime Stoppers acts as your advocate, keeping you anonymous and ensuring that your information gets to the right law enforcement agency.
March 18th in 1989, there was a hit-and-run felony manslaughter occurrence occurred in South Los Angeles in the area of Van Ness and Gage Avenue.
And investigators are asking for your help tonight to bring justice in the death of a 3-year-old that took place more than 20 years ago. Many handed out flyers today at the intersection of Van Ness and Gage, where 3-year-old Deonce Gibson was hit by a car and killed back in March of 1989. Police say the female driver did stop, but then got in her car and then drove away. She would be in her mid-50s now. Today, LA Councilman Bernard Parks announced a new reward for information leading to the conviction of the child's killer, $50,000.
I'm sure it's a horrible circumstance to live with, and it's something that we'd ask them to consider taking accountability for their actions to bring this to justice.
Our investigation revealed that the little boy, Deancy Barnes, had observed his mother across the street as her mother was having a conversation with a tow truck driver. Beyonce was in the care of another adult inside her residence. Beyonce somehow exited the residence in search of his mother and ran across the street, and that's when the collision occurred. Our hit-and-run vehicle was traveling northbound on Van Ness, approaching Gage Avenue. Following the collision, our hit-and-run suspect looked like they immediately stopped and exited their car and walked back to check on the condition of the child. However, according to witnesses, that's when all the neighbors started exiting their homes due to the sound of the collision, and it appeared that the woman became panicked and immediately fled within seconds of the accident. The mother witnessed the collision, as well as a tow truck driver who the mother was speaking with, as well as another witness. Our suspect was described by a couple witnesses at the scene as being a female black, approximately 32 to 34 years old, 120 to 130 pounds. She fled the scene in a tan or white brown colored Cadillac, two-door. As far as the year of the vehicle, one witness describes them as 70 to 75, another witness 80 to 85, a possible Eldorado. At that time, there was no plates, no concrete evidence as far as a license plate, or no physical evidence at the scene.
It was an accident. I surely don't feel that it was on purpose. It was an accident. And I would just pray that she find in her heart, if she's viewing this, she's hearing about this, someone tells her about this, that she finds it into her heart to turn herself in. It's the right thing to do. I would beg that she would try to contact me, because my faith tells me that I have to forgive. But justice still needs to be done. I can't understand how so many years can go past, and if this person is still breathing, that they can go day to day with them. I don't understand it.
We have done a recanvassing of the area of Van Ness and Gage in the hopes of locating possibly some residents who are still in the area, or someone who possibly knows something about the accidents. Many of the residents have only been there within 1 to 10 years, and so far we haven't had very much luck locating any possible witnesses with any possible evidence. At this time, we're appealing to the public for any information. We know there's someone out there who knows something, someone who's still in the neighborhood. Perhaps you have spoken with the suspect, maybe that night, days later, months later, years later, or even we're appealing to the driver, the hit-and-run driver. We're just asking you to come forward, and so we can bring justice to the family. We'd appreciate any information on this case.
It is an unimaginable loss to lose a child, but to lose him to someone so callous that they could simply drive away is even more painful. So here is who police are looking for. We're told the suspect is a black female around 5'6". At the time, she was in her early 30s with a slim build. But remember, this was March 18th, 1989. So today, this woman, this suspect, would be in her mid-50s. In 1989, she was driving a light-colored, maybe tan or white, two-door Cadillac. It was a late 70s or early 80s model. The vehicle struck and killed a 3-year-old boy, so it likely had some sort of front-end damage. If you know anything about this case, if you've heard anything since, please call Crime Stoppers, where you can learn how to text or even email your tip anonymously. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Crime Stoppers Case Files. Remember, we are here every week with more crimes and more families needing answers. These are your neighbors. This is your community, and you can make a difference.